Alrighty, back with the charging system disconnect, and there is the double pole, double throw latching relay. And I'm always doing tests. When I do my wiring, I use the voltmeter and I jump across and make sure that when the switch is up in the up position inside on the dash, that these are connected together. And different relays have different configurations, and so I come out here with the switch in the up position and I checked them, and guess what, it was off. So I had to reverse my switch. I had to just turn it around 180 degrees and do another test and make sure that it works. And I'm assuming that it's in the up position for on and the down position for off. So it worked fine, and I tightened this up a little bit, and it's just basically for a road test. I just use a little bit of electrical wire. The back of this has got a piece of plastic on it because these solder terminals on the bottom are bare. This is designed to go inside of an electrical box. And then again, this takes care of double pole, double throw, all the wires from the alternator, which is only 2. It connects and disconnects them. It includes a little 15 amp fuse. So nothing too complicated to put it together quickly. You can go with the more expensive, but truth be told, when you get done, you're probably going to end up running one positive terminal, 10 amp, and then have a bus bar to go, or actually consolidate this into a double pole, double throw times 8, which is what I'm kind of considering doing, so that it would be consolidated. 4 or 5 different relays consolidated into one box. So that's why this is all temporary. And then right here we have the large wire solenoid, because this thing is up to 100 amps. This thing is 100 amp capacity. And basically what I did, if you look down in here, you can see this. There's a white and green wire on one side of the terminal over there on the solenoid. Okay, and the solenoid is just because it's bigger amperage. That's why it's not called a relay, it's called a solenoid. Basically the same thing. Okay, so you go over here and you got a white and green wire going to the other side, okay? And I was fortunate, and then there's gonna be someone with a really loud motorcycle who's gotta go by right when I'm doing my video. Okay, so you've got the big thick 6-gauge wire that could be very expensive. So I basically went to a salvage yard, and while I was getting a bunch of other things, I just went and got the exact same wire, so it'd be the same color coding. Should I sell this car or something happen to me and someone come upon this vehicle and they need to look at the wiring diagram, I'm still matched up with what basically this car does, which I think is pretty cool to be doing that. And it basically just, if you look in here, you can see where this comes on up into the 70 amp fuse. And if you look down in here, go way down in there, you can see another relay, and that one has a little bit of amp draw, and that's the one that turns my solar panel on and off, or connects it to the battery or disconnects it from the battery. Okay, and I believe that's going across the ground side. I really don't want to have any type of amperage draw. It really should be a latching relay and not an amperage draw type relay, but it's only pulling like 1/10 of an amp, but still I don't want to have one drawing anything. So again, in the future I'll probably have a triple pole, triple throw, or one of these relays on a circuit board where you get 4 in 1, and it's basically the same size as one of those. And so that's why this stuff's all temporary, because I'm still, as I add more circuits, trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. But proof of concept, just getting everything to work, that's fine. What else do I want to show? Oh, I have a removable diode slash fuse, and this runs to the solar panel, and this is modular, meaning that I'll never have to make another diode with fuse again. And this is what basically I took a piece of plastic off of a handwriting ink pen and used that to protect the diode. So the diode's in here, and it has a quick disconnect. If I zoom in here, you can see that. That's a female, and that's a male spade. So they can disconnect from there. It goes over to the other side, and you have basically the same thing. Because if I ever want to upgrade my solar panel is only 50 watts, I could very easily you know, swap it out, and I wouldn't have to rebuild a diode and with its fuse. And I hate having to redo things like that when this is, you know, so I took the pains and made it modular. So what else is there? Oh, this fuel pump is for the fuel system upgrades, and it didn't work as I expected, but it will have a use in other applications. And you can see where I've got on the fuel system. I'm kind of going off topic here, but while we're in here, this is my valve to go off. It takes the fuel system. The fuel system, the fuel would normally go up and then take a left turn into the carburetor. And I have it teed off so that you could tap some fuel and have it run wherever you want it to go. And one of the routes I had, if it could just drip 1 drop per second, was to heat it up down here at the exhaust output, which can get up to somewhere around 300 to 400 degrees. But as long as you're only dropping 1 drop per second, you can vaporize that and introduce that into the intake, and then it will back off because your O2 sensors will sense that it's too rich, and it will lean it out. But it will be a more automized fuel portion. So as long as it's 50% of the idle speed fuel flow rate, you're okay, because it's only going to give better automation. So, and looking at my scan gauge, the worst gears to be in is first and second. So having greater automation by vaporizing the fuel is only going to help. So now that I have the scan gauge and I can read instantaneous miles per gallon, I'll be able to get some good data. So that's what I got for now, mainly for the charging side. And we kind of went over into some of the other areas because we're in here, and I thought I'd explain it while it's right in front of me. And that's basically it. There's a lot of wires that are just kind of strung in here, but until I get things to where they're making a major impact on fuel economy, it's all easy to take in and easy to take out. So, all right, well, thank you for watching. Subscribe and stay tuned for more upgrades, and I'll give you my miles per gallon improvement data here pretty soon. I was waiting on a lot of parts, like this specific part I was waiting on. I was also waiting on a second plug for my alternator so that I could quickly switch back to the original wiring should this thing fail, or it'd be nighttime and this fails, which is a double, perfect storm. And I don't want to be out on the road somewhere and not be able to get right back up to having everything work within, 2 minutes. So just to be able to reconnect this plastic connector to the alternator is, I had to wait for that part to come in. This is not exactly the double pole, double throw that I wanted. And that's not exactly the jet engine I was expecting. I can hear it in the background. Some type of air show going on. Anyway, that's all I got. And thank you for watching.